house. She is lochus, there's a worry, she gabayan who touched the wine, and because of that they want to cook. Kama shatzoi, whatever is needed, she achoim, that will be the heat, lefi amidoy sachom, according to the measurement of the heat, shemodadim ev'dinasenu, they check in our country. You want to prevent touching the wine, so you want to cook it. What is the level? What is the measurement of cooking? Is our subject. Very, very important halacha. Now, in the other yeshiva, the Israeli yeshiva, I print out very much new papers. All the Rishonim and the Achronim. When I give it out today, okay, to send also to Meitzan. You hear it, good, I'll get it. It was already printed yesterday, but I didn't bring it here. I thought this morning we didn't have enough time. I have to get it, but the main thing which I want to learn about is the way that Moshe Feinstein learns the Gemara on Shabbos. He brings all that study back and forth. Maybe this way, that way is Machia one way. And I want Bezrat Hashem to show another way to read the Rosh. We have to go through all the options that he brings and he removes, and then he decides his decision, and I want to make a second option. That's my goal. And if the second option is true, so then we will zoiche that there's no such Rosh, which means because of Moshe Feinstein, they permit, Rabbi Vosner and others permit cooked wine of pasteurized wine and cooked wine at very low, very low heat. Okay? So we'll see. You'll see what it means. Yes.
The Rebbe said years ago he didn't go according to Rabbi Moshe Feinstein because he didn't learn Achronim.
Okay, so we're learning Achronim, and we're going to go according to our yeshiva. What is the real pshat here? So I want to get to the real pshat. Okay, my opinion, my understanding. What's the real pshat in the Rosh and the Rishonim? Okay. Okay, our goal is to learn back and forth the sugya and to decide what's the true pshat here. And it'll be big enough kamina. Can you now, from now on in your house, rely on Kam Mizrach when it says cooked or pasteurized and a goy touches it? Is it exempt from a goy? Is it also b'shtir or not? Okay? That's the shaila. Because if a goy touches cooked wine, it's not also ba'ano. But what about shtiyas? Machlokes rishonim. Rashi against the Rosh. Right? So we're not talking about shtiyas. We're talking about ano. Machlokes rishonim. The halacha is we allowed to drink. Shlomo says you're allowed. Okay, but so now we want to know what is the level of bishul. Big enough kamin l'maisa. Here in the yeshiva is not big enough. It is not because we have a goy here these days. Sometimes we have goyim, we don't have goyim. Today we have a goy here. Kalev is a goy. So others Jewish, others not. So if he touches something, it can make it yain esech. It can be stam yenom. What? Cooked juice? Grape juice. Yes, grape juice is nothing. There's nothing, yes. Yes, only talking about the wine, yes. Okay, so then now let's go. 100%. Not cook is better wine. It's cook, it destroys the alcohol, destroys the strength. The anti-accident, it's called, no, there is accidentum is called. It's like against the fat, they break the fat down. How's it called in English? I forgot the word. Okay. That gets destroyed definitely when it's cooked. That's the real bad wine. Right. 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 Right.
I don't buy any of those other bricks that are 50, 20 shekels a year. I wait for that one guy that has a point in Hebron with that textures on the shears, and he has it combined there.
Right.
And the prices are a third of a kilo for his bricks. And I wait, so almost $600. And every time I go there, I buy it as much as I can.
Well, it's very, very good.
And that's what the Rebbe said. And the wine, I never thought it exactly, but that's right. That's what it takes out of it.
Yeah, sure.
The question is, if the day, what did it say? Because I saw the note, Smachloikas, the Rabbi Yosef, and Rabbi Yoshi, was the Mitzias. Then the Rabbi Yosef is this Christu, changes the X and Y. According to Rabbi Yoshi,
Okay, we're gonna learn. So first we have to learn what the Rishonim say, then we'll talk about the Mitzias. You already jumping the gun. We'll see. Let's see. I want to see all the options. The Rosh and the two is Halacha, okay? The Rosh and the two are brought in the Shulchan Aruch Halacha. The Halacha brings down the Rosh and the two, and the Shach Paskin like that. So we want to know the Maisim. What does it mean in the Rosh? That's our goal. Because the Rosh is the Halacha. Okay? Rosh of the Trumo, two is the Halacha. V'hinei, me'etzem adin, from the essence of the law, כשנסבשל כחויים שהצוללת בו. When it's being cooked, like in the heat that the hand jumps away, יצוללת בו. ובדין בישול, that's called cooking. Why? דכן או מצינו, so we found, אף כשהוא להוקל בשבס. As a din bishul, because we found it's a din bishul even lahakel, even to be lenient on Shabbos. Doisa Mogan Avrom Siman Chin Yud Chetziv Koton Yud Beis. So brought down Mogan Avrom, turn the page. Sha'af sheyesh bishul achar bishul. Even though we have normally the rule, there is bishul achar bishul. Kol zman shayatza leres boy. As long the hands jumps back, Miki Roiter is called boiling. Ve'en mishum bishul doesn't have the law of bishul in it. Mashi tvasef choim, what has been added heat, afle retich, even for boiling. Again, if I have, according to the opinion that holds there is bishul achar bishul, we hold there's no bishul achar bishul. But according to the opinion that there is bishul achar bishul, if the item, the food was cooked and is still hot until the level of a yatzal boy, it's called boiling. That there's no bishul achar bishul in it. There's no extra bishul what I added after the heat of Yatzoleres boy. Even though now it turned from Yatzoleres boy to boiling, it's not considered cooking again. Even though normally there is bishul achar bishul. If the food is cold and I cooked it, and now it's cold and I cook it again, there is bishul achar bishul. But the food is hot to the level of Yatzoleres boy. And now I add the heat boiling to the level of boiling or more. There's no bishul achar bishul. If so, Gam also lama sheomru, why they said mevushol ein b'mishum yain nesech. They said anything. Gam also for what is being said by the rabbis that cooked there's no yain nesech. Nami vadai surely also ubemida zud yatzoledes is the measure of yatzoledes. Why? Because since we see the yatzoledes is lekula even, not lekumra, that If you heat Yatzoledes bo, I'm strict on you that's considered cooking. No, it's also the kula that if I continue from Yatzoledes to boiling, it's not considered bishul, and I'm not exempt. I'm exempt from chiyuv Shabbos. So since you see Yatzoledes bo is absolute, it's not just a strictness chumah the mechayim bishul bishul. It's even lekula. How do we see it's lekula? Because even one who holds yesh bishul achar bishul, even one who holds there is cooking after cooking. Even we hold there is cooking after cooking, but once it's heated Yatzoledes bo, you cannot do any more bishul. Even normally there is bishul achar bishul. Here there isn't. So you see it's lekula also.
But how does he know it's not called cooking? How does he know that?
He brought a Mogen Avrom, Siv Kotin in base. He brought a Mogen Avrom, he quoted Mogen Avrom, Simen Shin Yud Chet, Siv Kotin in base. That even you hold Yesh Bishul Achar Bishul, as long as Yatzoledes boy, it's called boiling, and then there's no more Bishul in it, even if he add heat to the level of boiling. So therefore he says, if that's true, also reference to what's called cooking. So since by Shabbos, we see Yatzoledes bo is considered cooking absolute, even lekula. So also reference to what the rabbi said that yain mevushal. There's no din yain nesech sam yainom. For sure, is the measurement of Yatzoledes. Yatzoledes should be the cooking. There's no more cooking anymore. If we medame Shabbos to yain nesech to stam yainom, so since is Yatzoledes is absolute by Shabbos, even lekula, also from bishul of mishum stam yainom, the measurement of Yatzoledes should be absolute. There's no more cooking.
It was the Morgan Avram. He said X equal X. He said it's not cooking because it's not cooking. He didn't tell you why it's not cooking. He just said it's a fact.
It's not cooking even lekula. They're not obligated. So you see that he holds the Morgan Avram holds. You see the Morgan Avram holds the halacha that Yatzoledes boy is considered absolute cooking by Shabbos. So since absolute cooking by Shabbos, also by Stam Yainom should be absolute cooking. That's the measure. If we medame Shabbos to medame Stam Yainom to Shabbos, what do you want to say?
But he didn't prove it. He just said it's a fact. You said X is X.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right. He brings a fact.
But no, you said this. You said it's not. He didn't say why it's not. He just said it's not.
Right. So we follow that. We follow the Mogen Avrom as a major poisek in Orachai. And the Mogen Avrom says so. So first of all, from the halacha, that's the halacha. And since that's the halacha,
Then arguing what he's for is to say what he's saying. He says
he's not going now in Tzvora yet. First of all, he tells you it's not the halacha. Since the halacha by Shabbos, the Mogen Avrom considers Yatzoledes to be absolute cooking, even lekula. So now when the Rosh is medame, yaines stam yainom to Shabbos, cooking here, since there Yatzoledes is absolute cooking lekula, also by stam yainom, Yatzoledes will be absolute cooking for Shabbos, for stam yainom. Aval HaRosh be'avodah zorah daf lamed kosam, v'yain mevushol. Achar shirtiach, the Rosh on Avodah Zorah, page 30, which is our Rosh, wrote, V'yayin mevushol achar shirtiach nikra mevushol. Yayin mevushol, after you boil it, it's called cooking. Perek Kiro Daf Mem, and in Shabbos, page 40, Nechleku, there's a machloikes, Yomar Efshero Zu Bishulu, do we say the Efshero means lukewarm or defrosting, removing the cold, is considered cooking. But when you boil it, it is cooking according to everyone. But when you boil it, is considered cooking according to everyone. So this Rosh, he says, now the Moshe Feinstein Moshe goes on back and forth to try to understand this Rosh. And then he will prove his pshat. He says the best pshat in the Rosh is the final pshat he's going to say. And the basis of that, he builds the halacha, what's the level, the measurement of cooking. So he says, if you read the Rosh simply, its intention, its meaning is hard. Why? The hefsher shepligi, who by defrosting the argument in Ilchoi Shabbos is, what is defrosting? When the hand is not jumping away. There is an opinion. The shemen there by oil, the efshel zobishuloi, that defrosting is considered cooking. The nifsakana is the eno bishuloi, that it's not considered cooking. Gam b'shemen, not only in water, also in oil. But aval yatzoledes boy, but if you go up from defrosting, you go to yatzoledes boy. Ovado bishul, for sure it's cooking. So if so, why the Rosh says boiling? The Rosh says defrosting is a machloikes, but boiling according to everyone. Why? Defrosting is a machloikes, which is less than yatzoledes boy, and then you don't have to jump to boiling. Yatzoledes boy is the next step, the next level that everybody agrees is cooking. So what do you have to say? Defrosting is a machloikes. Boiling, everybody agrees. Has to be defrosting is a machloikes, which is less yatzoledes boy. And yatzoledes boy everybody agrees is cooking. Why he jumps to a third level of boiling? Eticha. This is the most simple question on the Rosh. Because of this question, the whole Psak Halacha world shook. What? When the Rosh says, it says in Morin Kira, there's a machloikes of Sherezu Bishuloi, there's a machloikes. Says, okay, but we want to go out of the machloikes. Says, right, so he says, why do you have to come on from jumping from Efsher, which is less than the Yatzoledes, to Reticha, which is above the Yatzoledes? Say, Efsher is a machloikes. Yatzoledes, the Kul Alme is Bishul. Well, that's to say the word Reticha. Reticha is more than Yatzoledes. Capish? So what does he say? Who like kavanos? Do you understand that, Alan? Okay. What does the Rosh say? The Rosh says that stam yeinom, ordinary wine of goyim, if it's cooked, if it was told to a goy by a cooked, a Jew cooked and he gave it to a goy touched it, doesn't prohibit it. Now, what is the level of? Yes, drink and sell if a goy touched cooked wine. Question is, what's the level of cooked? So the Rosh says the level of cook is boiling. How do we know that? We know it from Masechet Shabbos. In Shabbos, there's an argument if defrosting is considered cooking or not. But boiling, everybody agrees it is cooking. So therefore, everybody will agree that by Yain Nesech, Vastam Yeinom, boiling makes it cooking. The question on the Rosh, why the Rosh jumps from defrosting to boiling? There's a middle level. There is boiling, which is less than Yatzoledes. The hand jumps back. And there's Yatzoledes, which everybody agrees considered cooking. And then you have boiling. Why he says defrosting is an argument. Where's the safe zone? Boiling. No. Defrosting, there's an argument. But Yatzoledes is a safe zone that everybody agrees is cooking. Even Lekula. When he has to jump onto a higher level of boiling. He knows what Yatzoledes means. Do you know what it means, Yatzoledes? So he just asked me, like, you don't understand my words. Yatzoledes means the hands jumps back. Okay. You have to be careful. That's why you don't understand what I'm talking. You have to know my terminology.
could say that 4 people have different degrees of hands jumping. A stronger guy, his hand won't jump as fast as a weaker guy, and maybe that's why.
No, the Gemara brings down the definition of tzaleres, that the baby's stomach in the middle gets burned from it. Keresh shel tinok nichnas. That's all babies are saying. Good.
That's a baby. It was
A baby. The Gemara brings down a baby.
Okay.
That's all. Ve'ulai, and maybe kavanosoi, maybe his attention, la Tanakama. So it says, you know what the Rosh means? He means, according to Tanakama, what Tanakama holds. Aliba de Rabben Rav Yosef. You guys reviewed the Gemara. Did you review the Gemara in Shabbos? You learned it once? What? Not the 4 pages. The Masechet Shabbos. Did you learn Rabbi Gavriel the Masechet Shabbos Daf Mem? Papers. He gave out papers. The Gemara Masechet Shabbos. Yes. You learned it, right? Good. Do you remember the Gemara? Barely. Rabbi Yoshua, you remember the Gemara? Good. Well, good. I'm happy to hear that. Very good. Very good. Okay, good. Very good. 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 So now we're going to read back in the Moshe Feinstein. Vehulai kavanos. He says maybe the intention of the Rosh. La Tanakama. Ali ben Rabba ve Rabbi Yosef. According to Tanakama, according to Rabba and Rabbi Yosef. What Rabba and Rabbi Yosef holds? They hold there is 3 opinions in the Braisa. One who says water I'm allowed to put against the fire to defrost the water. Rabbi Yehuda says you're allowed to take a bucket of oil, pach shemen, and put it against the water to defrost, against the fire to defrost. And Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says you're allowed to take oil on your body. Put oil on your body or on the baby's body to defrost the oil. 1 second. First, let's people get to what it says. Tanakama speaks about water. You're allowed to defrost water against the fire. Okay? Against the fire to defrost. We're talking about the water defrosting. Not that the space will be defrosting, which means the space can heat it up too, if you leave it there. According to Rashi's Pshat. Other Rishonim learns that defrost means the distance from the fire can produce defrosting and not cooking. It's how you read the Gemara. But anyhow, it says that water, Tanakama says water you're allowed to defrost, but not to cook. Rabbi Yehuda says oil you have to defrost. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says in a can. And Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says no, that's uvda dechol, that's a normal way of cooking. Even that to defrost oil can only to be in a person's body, a shinui. In a shinui way. Okay? But the machloek is what Tanakama holds. Tanakama speaks about water. It doesn't relate to oil. What is his opinion about oil? So we have a machloek Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef against Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef say le'teira, that Tanakama holds heter. He holds water, you're allowed to defrost and not to cook, but oil, even to defrost, even to cook, you're allowed. Even Yatzalet was allowed. Because water only to defrost, not to heat the level of Yatzalet. But oil, you're allowed even Yatzalet, because there's no bishul by oil. There's no cooking in oil. Rabbi Yehuda says oil, there is cooking, but defrosting is not cooking. Abshim Gamir says no, also defrosting is cooking. You have to do it in a weird way in a person's body, etc. Again, Rab and Rav Yosef learned that Tanakama did relate to oil. And when he said water, he said only water you're allowed to defrost and not cook to the level of Yatzolitis boy. But oil, you're allowed even Yatzolitis boy. There's no cooking by oil. So he's matir, he's permitting. Tanakam is leteira to permit oil. Or you're allowed even Yatzolitis boy. Why? Because there's no bishul in oil. Not clear. This is the word we don't know. Boiling water, he says, even by defrosting is considered cooking. But by oil, you're not even to Yatzoledes boy because there's no cooking in oil. Now, Rabbi Yehuda holds by oil there is cooking. Yatzoledes boy is cooking. Yatzo has to be only defrosting. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says even defrosting is cooking. It has to be in a weird way in a person's body. Okay? Now, Nachman Yitzchak says no. Tanakama is machmir, the Isura. He wants to say, but Nachman Yitzchak says opposite. Shemen even defrosting, not only water, even oil. Oil is like water. And even though the hand is in Atzoledes boy, you're not allowed because oil has cooking and defrosting is just cooking. And Rabbi Yehuda comes to say defrosting is not cooking. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says oil there is in it cooking and defrosting is cooking. So what's the difference? Rabbi Shimon Gamliel and Tanakam? Both holds oil there is cooking in it and defrosting is cooking. The community is la'achar yad. That what? That even Shinu doesn't work. According to Tanakama, even Shinu doesn't work. According to Rav Shimon Gamliel, Shinu works. Okay? So we have machlokes. How do you read Tanakama? Leheto or lehisu? Comes the what is it? Ligos Moshe, and he says, "Vehulai kavonosoi." This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 lines on the top, on the right column, page Reish Nun Chet. Vehulai kavonosoi. Maybe the intention of the Rosh to say, La Tanakama libe the Rabbi Rav Yosef, according to Tanakama, or according to Rabbi Rav Yosef, that they hold lehetera, that Tanakama holds that even if it's water, only defrosting, not Yatzoledes. Oil, and bishul, there's no cooking in it. Afa bisha Yatzoledes, where even though the hand is jumps away from it, it's permitted. The shemen bishul bishul afa bisha Yatzoledes. Oil, there's no cooking, even though the hands jumps away from it. So the Rosh holds, v'soiver HaRosh, but when it goes higher than Yatzoledes, when it goes to the third level of boiling, it is kicks in and cooking onto everyone. Ainu gam Tanakam, even the Tanakam. Stop. So how does he learn? He learns like this: water defrosting is okay, not Yatzoledes. Oil, according to Rabbi Yosef Tanakama holds, there's no bishul. Even Yatzoledes is permitted. But more than Yatzoledes, boiling, even Tanakama holds oil you can cook. Which means, like you said, oil needs more cooking to consider cooking. Higher temperature. That's the way we're going to learn the Rosh. So if that's true, the Rosh is saying, so we had a problem. Why did the Rosh jump from defrosting to boiling? He should have said, okay, defrosting is an argument, but Yatzoledes, somebody agrees it's cooking. No, because oil, we found a species by liquid in Shabbos, which is oil. There we see, there was an opinion according to Rabbi and Rav Yosef, according to Tanakama, that oil needs boiling to be cooking. Because Yatzoledes is not cooking the way he reads the Gemara. The Rosh learns that when Tanakama says oil, there's no cooking, but Yatzoledes only means there's no cooking in this level of temperature. But doesn't mean if you go higher level of cooking, it burns. So therefore it's considered cooking. So therefore he says, Vayayin Nesech, the safe zone where everybody agrees, even all species, which is not water, oil, and I want to say wine is like oil. Since we see by Shabbos, by defrostings and machloiges, and where everybody agrees, even by oil, even other species, they agree by boiling. So by Yain Nesech, when it's boiling, everybody agree that's finito, is considered cooking, and when a goy touches, not also b'shtiyanano. That's one way to learn the Gemara. That's one way to learn Aaron. There's another way to learn the Gemara. You know another way? That when Rabbi Yehuda says defrosting water is not cooking, but yatzoledes is considered by water, oil, even the hand yatzoledes boy is not cooking because there's no bishul at oil at all, even higher level. Why? Because oil, the structure doesn't change. By water, cold water and hot water has a different value. So therefore it changes, it's considered cooking. But by oil, it's a type of material that even if you boil, there's no cooking by oil. Doesn't matter if it's liquid, cold or hot, it's the same. Doesn't have any different chashivus and values. By water, cold water you want in the summer, hot water you want in the cold. Oil, cold or hot is the same. So according to this, Rabbi Yosef learns le'tego means oil, not only allowed to defrost it, even yatzoledes be allowed, because there's no cooking by oil. At oil means even more than that. Yatzoledes and more, there's no cooking. That's another way to read it. It's the cooked oil, yes, according to this side.
But how does he know to compare wine to oil?
He doesn't. He wants to now use all the options and prove what's the true option. That's what he's doing. He's doing a process of elimination.
Yeah, but if he has to prove that wine is comparable to water or oil, he has to prove that.
The wine?
It's water.
Like a solid, you can't pour it.
Yes.
Oil, oil that's boiling has not changed its properties. It's hard to use.
It changes properties. There's not enough value enough to consider change. That's considered enough. It's considered enough value change for Skila and Shabbos. So let's see. Maybe his intention.
Then he's saying that wine is equal to oil, or it's possible. He didn't prove how you can make the dimion between wine.
He's not here to prove. He's here to find out what the Rosh says. When we stop it,
the Rosh, not him.
So we're not questioning the Rosh Dimion. Want to understand what he's medamid.
Yeah, but I'm going to say, how does he know to make to say that comparison? Just because he's talking about the levels of cooking and
good question. Good question. You have a good question, Chaim.
That's all. I'm not arguing. I'm just asking.
Yes, leave it with a question. The Rosh made a dimion. I'm following his dimion. I'm not questioning it. I give you 10 svaras. Is it muchach? No, I'm going to give you svaras. Umistapik, and the Rosh had a doubt. The cave on the sin shechazinon, since we see sheika shem, and there is oil. The soiver chad mandoma, that oil is a species of liquid that one mandoma holds. The biyat soleres boina bishul, that if the hand jumps back, it's not considered cooking. Uadin, the same thing. Efshos is possible. Yain nami, yain also. Which is another species, not water. It's not oil, it's not water. Same way by oil, there's one opinion, the Yatzolet is not considered cooking. Uadin, the same thing. Efshar, possible. Yainami, wine also. And boy mishum bishul, I don't have in it cooking the midas and the measurement of Yatzolet boy. And the hand jumps back. You rather need more.
He said Efshar. That's exactly the point. It's an Efshar. It's not a Hechrog.
True. He's just saying a possibility in the Rosh. Ve'efshar yoiser, and it's possible more. She'av she'b'shemen, even though in oil, ifsak the halacha is the midas abishul hu b'yatzoleres. Even though Lemaisa, there is an opinion that yatzoleres is not enough by oil, so therefore we need in a safe zone by yain. That possible you need more. You need boiling, and not yatzoleres. So, and it's more than that. Possible more that even though the halacha by oil, that the measurement of cooking is yatzoledes, then lochush klal tanakama. We don't worry at all like tanakama, because the Gemara paskin that oil and water is the same. Kol mokam, however, ulai maybe, so another maybe. Yain gam le Rabbi Mashmuel, wine even according to Rabbi Mashmuel, because we have water and oil. Rabbi Mashmuel said water and oil both need yatzoledes. However, kol ulai gam yain le Rabbi Mashmuel, wine by Rabbi Mashmuel, ein mishum bishul, there's no cooking b'yatzoledes. Since the Chazinon we see the local aminim shovim, not all the species are the same. Although the halacha is that wine and water is the same, but since we see there's an argument about it, that not all species are the same. Some people holds oil is less, some people holds oil is more. So mayayin is in a third species. Maybe there it's a different levels. So therefore, where's a safe zone? That everybody will agree that we didn't find no other species that's not considered cooking is by boiling. So that's how the Rosh says, when I boil when I boil wine, it's considered, according to everyone, and the safe zone is considered cooking. According to everyone, what? And boiling is more than yatzoledes. This is one way to read the Rosh, but he knocks it out. Says, Avaloi mistaber lefaris. It doesn't make sense to explain this explanation. Betam Tanakama, to explain Tanakama. Again, the Rosh is learning that you need boiling by Yain Esech, by Stam Yainom. You need boiling. And he says, although by Shabbos there's an argument about defrosting, but boiling, everybody agrees. Why jump from defrosting to boiling? Should say by Yatzoledes, everybody agrees. Because Yatzoledes, there is an opinion, according to Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef, according to Tanakama, that oil doesn't cook by yatzoledes, but what boil does. So he says boiling is a safe zone. Although the halacha is, we don't hold like that opinion, but since we see that there's different species and different levels of cooking, so we'll be in a safe zone that nobody will argue that all species will be the same as will be boiling. So let's put wine in the category of boiling. He says that's not true. Avaloi mistaber lefaris, it doesn't make the svara doesn't give us. There's no svara, not mistaber. Listen to what mistaber. Doesn't make logical sense to explain such an explanation. Betam Tanakama, to explain that that's the opinion of Tanakama, that oil there's no cooking by yatzoledes. But by retich, it is cooking. Like Aaron learned, that the structure of oil needs higher temperature. So that's not the pshat. Why? The pastus haloshon, the simplicity of the language, who sheletanekame shemen ein bo mishum bishul klal. Tanekame says, you know why yatzoledes by oil is permitted? Because he holds kasova shemen ein bo bishul bishul. There's no bishul in shemen. The word no bishul means no bishul at all. The pashas haloshon, the simplicity of the language of Tanakama. Shemen ein bo bishul bishul klal. That's a simpler language. The lo'omar shemen ein bo bishul bishul b'yatzoledes. He didn't say oil. There's no bishul in the yatzoledes. Rather, he said ein bo bishul bishul. There's no cooking in it. He didn't say no cooking in yatzoledes in this measurement. He didn't put a boundary on the statement there's no bishul. Where? No bishul in yatzoledes. You just say, open statement. Shemen and mo bishul. Oil, there's no bishul in it. It ain't bounded only to Yatzoledes, but more it is. No, he said en mo bishul. So the simplicity means that oil, there's no bishul at all. The Perush show you the simplicity is, even boiling and more, there's no bishul. Why? Why? Here, what's the logic? Bishul. The bishul ain't zerakachim levad. Cooking is not heating alone. Cooking is the benefit that the heat brings. Ela to'eles, rather the benefit shenasu mizeh, that is being done from this. Ba'adovo, in the thing, ubemashkin shelachim, liquid which are liquids, wet, liquids which are wet, shloinika b'mishmus hayad, is not recognized never by touching of the head or seeing of the eyes. Chiluk ben koidem achil aramim, the difference in before and or after. By dry things, you can have dry to liquid, liquid to dry, or you can see clearly the difference, the benefit of the cooking. But by liquid, wet, liquid things, you don't recognize the heat before and after. And he brings down the Rambam. The bedover yover, something which is dry, nikar is recognized, and I say bedover achkoshe. Something which is dry, you can see the difference between soft and hard. Umidover kosherach, from hard to soft. Kedisi barama periktet mishaves alochavo. Klolo shel dover. The Rambam says a rule of all this. Ben sheripo guf kosher. He softened, relaxed, softened a hard body, be'esh, by fire, or sheiksho, he hardened guf rach, a soft body. From cooking. Ubelach, and by liquid, sheino nika, they don't recognize the physical change. So you need to know to eles acher, another benefit, shenaise ba'achimu. So the Kama holds, shebeshemen leikashum toeles, by oil there isn't any benefit. Be'achimu, in the boiling. Umimele, and by itself, leike mishum bishul klal. There's no cooking at all. V'achokim svos, those that argue holds, the gam beshemen is toeles. Even by oil there's some benefit. Be'achimu. What's the benefit? The sharpness goes away, by the way, you should know. The accidentum go away. Umimele yesh b'shemen mishum bishul, that's what there is cooking in shemen. The Sober Rav Gamliel v'chetana kama. Ali ben Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok, the Abbe'efsher, even by defrosting levad alone, umizbashel toeles, even by defrosting, oil has some benefit. Rabbi Sober, you know what's the benefit? Dafka b'yatzoledes hu bishul. Shniya achat. Only yatzoledes bishul. B'shemen, kimo b'mayim, like water. V'chen posak Rabbi Yudo, o mashmur, ken. Ken.
It's svora.
אני לא שומע מילה, זה קשר לך עוד דקה. ואם כן, if so, לא נמצא שם כלל מין. I don't find any species, because we have water and oil. There's no species she's by bishul, that there is bishul in it at all.
Yeah, but that, he said it's svora. What
אם כן, לא נמצא שם כלל מין, a species, mean, you have shemen, you have מים, it's two meaning. Mean she's boy bishul. I never found that there's such a species like oil, or some species, that the only way to cook it is more than yatzoleres, dafka. That we never found. Because oil, there's no bishul at all. Water, there's machlokes when there's bishul. And oil, there's also machlokes when there's bishul. And there's one opinion that holds that more than yatzoleres is permitted, means there's no bishul at all. It can be yain, if so, wine. Shematzinu boy bishul, we do find there is cooking in it. Men not only stop it from where else to doubt, Shema Shiu, maybe the measurement is, but Yoisem Yatzoleres, more than Yatzoleres. Shalomatzinu Zeshom, we never found it there, which means, let's summarize, since there's no opinion that says certain species, like you, Aaron, learned it, that oil, you need a higher level of cooking. Not yatzoledes, but more. No. It's or boil or defrosting or yatzoledes. Why it says oil yatzoledes is permitted? Not to say that you need higher level of to make it a cooking. No, oil, there's no, you can't recognize a difference. And there's no benefit by cooking, so which means there's no such thing cooking by oil. And therefore, since there's no such thing cooking, the oil is not considered cooking at all. So since there's no benefit of cooking by oil, so therefore what? Therefore what? Therefore we never found a species that is not considered that the level of cooking is only boiling. It's or defrosting or yatzoledes. And boiling is not part of the picture. In oil, it's bechlol bishul arol, not yatzoledes or not more. So therefore, from where the Rosh got this third level of boiling, that everybody agrees. Nothing to do with it. You never found. The highest level of cooking is not defrosting, rather yatzoledes. We don't have to come into boiling. So where the Rosh got this boiling, this is really the question on the table. Those are the two sides that and he's going to prove this side in a second. Besides the simple of the language, he brings the Mogen Avram. That boiling means yatzoledes. That's his main answer.
You guys know what it means cooking by wine.
Okay. Right? This is, we go over, we have to know it well, to know it well, and B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to come onto an understanding, a deep understanding. So true what we learn well. Yes, Aaron. Yatzoledes. No. Yatzoledes is one level. Yatzoledes is at 45 degrees. And boiling is 89 degrees. 79 degrees. It's almost double. What? No. There's one thing is that I jump back because I'm afraid to be burned. And there's other things when I get burned. Yes. What? 100, even not 79. 100. Good. Yes. Okay. So again, when the Rosh says you need boiling, because everybody agrees by Shabbos, what do you got this concept of boiling? It's yatzoledes, but everybody agrees. So we said maybe oil, when it means yatzoledes, no cooking by oil, it means, but more there is cooking. So therefore, and then we have more is rotik, so we got it from there. But he says not true. When it says oil is no bishul, means no bishul at all, even more. Even the tik is not cooking. So therefore, we never found a species that will be cooking or defrosting or yatzoledes, but we never found boiling. It's not on a lexicon. And oil is no cooking at all. Even boiling, even more. So therefore, we never found such a species. So where the Rosh got this idea that boiling, everybody agrees that it'll be cooking by Shabbos, and therefore yain nesech, when I boil it, is no more. Then it's no more considered wine. There's no yain nesech. When you got this concept of boiling by Shabbos, it's not as lower. Even one level lower is a safe zone of cooking. Even by yatzoledes. So he answers, you know what the Rosh means? Maybe you know what the Rosh means boiling? Boiling means yatzoledes. Because we found some poiskim, like the Mogen Avram calls boiling and revile. Boiling means the starting of boiling. And that's yatzoledes. We have to work on it tomorrow more, B'ezrat Hashem. And I want to go through till the end and then say another option, very simple option, which I think is a true option, B'ezrat Hashem. In the Rosh, and this will be a big change, halacha l'maaseh.
He made a big jump between. He said there's no species, and then wine is a box by itself. Who says
right? And whatever the species that the Gemara in Shabbos speaks about, two species, we don't know where wine belongs to.
Yeah, right.
Good. So this is the doubt here. We're debating what really the Rosh meant. So we're going to see tomorrow what's the conclusion of the Moshe Weinstein, which is proof, and why he said this makes sense. There's a lot of proofs that we have to answer. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash, what do you want to say? Yes. Right.
By water is Yeshiva.
Oil, maybe it's machlokes, it's in the shina. Some shina. It's a small on its own, but it's not doing Shabbos. Yes, I understand. But we want to know what is timun to Shabbos. Where do you got reticha and you got it from Shabbos? Where do you got it from? That's a problem. And Moshe finds his problem. The word reticha normally means boiling, and he learns it from Shabbos. And the kul alme reticha. Where do you got it from? No, it's to be toilets. Depends. If it changed from rach to kasher rach toilets. Otherwise, we just like we need some other toilets. Change of tam, lematik, sweet. There's to be some kind of change. Right. Right.
It's considering, you don't have to have, you see a movement that they use it a different way. You don't have to have choser, because so goofy you see here, cooking alone makes it himself doesn't. He made a Yiddish Adon. And that for me, I can't do it. He said cooking has to have toilets. Who says to me?
So you want to say pistul, there's toilets, it may change it. Okay. So, but kulam by Shabbos, when you have a toilet, it's considered cooking and pistul is toilets. Good. Okay. Okay, good. Going to, yeah, understand.
Even 45 even if it's not choser.
Whatever the level is.
Even if it's not choser.
Yes. Pistul, pasteurizing. Pasteurizing is you heat the wine at very low, not so high heat. What they do is they found a trick. You don't have to have a high level of Celsius. Yes, what you do is if you put in a closed tube, so you heat it even at 45 degrees, 50 degrees, already the pressure and the heat together makes the change in the wine already like it is if you have a high heat. This guy named put pressure. Insador, sabe, insador, mas o chave, eu lembro quando nós estávamos em nós começando a me só eu abonou, mas também eu para me deixar me não, como nós que moramos em Chamate, colassava, ei, não me faz chamar, porque não me diz não vai a mim. Sai na vida, eu me vou com, me quando me vai ao ponte, eu chamo a bom me chamar, eu tenho uma coisa boa,